Hello, good evening, all of you. Am I audible? Write on chat +1 if I am audible.
Hello, good evening, all of you.
Okay, nice. So, welcome to the workshop of Android development. Today we will be learning about XML and Gradle, and in the next session we will learning Java.
Hi guys, we are waiting for some time for 3-4 minutes. You can share the link to the groups and then we start.
Okay, how many of you have installed Android Studio? You can write +1 on the chat. Yeah, nice. You may face some difficulty while installing it, but uh, you will install it. However, okay, okay. So I am Abdullah from Android division of Cyber Labs, and I will be taking the workshop for the XML and Gradle part, and we will also do live coding in this session only. So there is no prerequisites for this workshop. You don't have to any prior knowledge for attending this. And if you have any doubt, you may ask in the chat, and it will be cleared from there. And don't hesitate from asking in the chat. Okay, so let's start. So Android development is a increase very developing field right now. You have seen so much apps are there in the market, and it's a it's like very vast field, you say. So why do we do Android development? Why only Android development? What do you think? You can write in the chat. Why? What do you think? Why Android development is good for you? Yeah, most common. Okay. Yeah, it's we use WhatsApp, Facebook, these apps regularly, and uh, we said it's very easy to communicate with each other using these apps. Yeah, lesser restrictions. अच्छा resume बनेगा. Yeah, it's also okay now. uh, Open source code, like we have two types of codes, like one is open source and one is code closed source. So open source is we can see all the part there in the internet. It is available in the internet, and we may make changes on that, and we may do anything we want from that. And closed source is we we only get the product, we can only see the app, not its code. So open source code is a very nice thing. We can also learn from other apps code, and then we can integrate that in our app. And now it's Google Play Store. So Google Play Store is the largest market. Largest means it's a huge market of all the apps available on the internet. And Android its apps are very easy to integrate. Recently you may have heard about AR, VR, and things like that. We can integrate these easily on apps, and we can integrate machine learning in our app and make cool projects from it. And we may use it to uh, fulfill our daily needs. Many of the things we can do from the app. And last, it's very fun to make Android applications. And if it is useful, if you make a good product out of it, you may get a very nice outreach over the market, and you may earn money from that by adding ads in your app. And it's nice. So let's move on. So there are platforms in which we can develop applications. First one is the Android Studio. Android Studio is uh, very old from other platforms, and it's the most used platform to make Android applications. And this IDE was developed by Google. So what is an IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. In this we can create our app, we can write all the codes there, and then we can build the code, and it gets converted into a working app. So Android Studio, it uses XML and Java or Kotlin programming language. So XML is the part which defines the look of the app, and Java Kotlin, it's the brain, it's the brain of the app. So Android Studio is most preferable by the developers at is a wide community support. Other platforms like Flutter and React Native are relatively new to Android Studio. So Android Studio, if you get any error in any piece of the code, you are very likely to get that error in the internet, and you will get that you you can easily fix that. But there is issue with Flutter and React Native. These the languages they use, they are very new, so they don't have much community support. The next platform, Flutter, it was it is used to build Android and iOS and web apps. So the nice thing about Flutter is that from the single code base you can make Android, iOS app, and web app, all the three things from the single code base. So this is very nice thing about Flutter. And it uses Dart as the programming language. And the next platform is React Native. React Native is a mainly UI focused platform. Like you can in very less code you can make a very nice looking UI stand for user interface, which makes the app load quickly and give a smooth feel. Like it's very nice if you want to make an app in lesser time and very good looking app. It helps you to creating exciting mobile apps with the help of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So the language used in React Native is JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, which you might have learned in the previous session of web development. HTML and CSS are used in web development and JavaScript. So these are the three platforms, three major platforms. We have other platforms also for app development, but these three are the major platforms. And we will be using Android Studio in this workshop. And the language we will be using is Java, as it has also the nice community support, so that you don't have any issue while doing the development. Next is Android SDK. Now, Android SDK is the software development kit. So, what is SDK? It is the set of development tools used to develop application for the Android platform. The Android SDK, it includes the two things. First is the SDK build tool. It is the component of SDK required for building Android apps. Like when we create an app, we have many files like Java file, HTML file, XML file, and many other files like manifest file. So what SDK does, it uh, arranges all the components and uh, then it builds the app. And SDK tools, it is the downloadable component of Android SDK. It includes the complete set of development and debugging tools of the SDK like emulator, SD card, SQLite, and app builder. Like apart from just the IDE, we also require many other things like the emulator and the debugger. The, you might have already known that debugging is like a very hectic issue for developers and programmers to debug their code. It's very difficult. So SDK has nice debugging tools, so that if you have any error in the app, you may debug that, and you may get rid of it. And emulator, it is like, it's just like a smartphone inside your PC, where you can see the app and how it is working. And these other tools are also very helpful to, like so SDK is like a very helpful thing, and you may get rid of all the bugs from the app from using these tools. Next is the Gradle files. So every Android project needs a Gradle to generate an APK from .java and .xml file. So Gradle file, in layman term, Gradle takes all the source files, Java and XML, and it applies appropriate tools, that is converting the Java files into DEX file and then compressing all of them in a single file known as the APK that is actually used. So when you install applications from like Play Store, you install the APK file. So how does that APK is formed from these Java file and XML file? So that is the work of Gradle. That Gradle combines the Java file and XML file, and then it converts it into the APK. And the Java file is first converted into DEX file. You will be learning about DEX also in later on, and then all of them are compressed in a single file, and then the APK is generated. So Gradle, the main use of Gradle is this. Now downloading, I think many of you have already downloaded Android Studio, and this slide also have a link over here. The slide will be shared. If you haven't downloaded till now, you may download it, and then you may proceed for the live coding. So become a developer. Like we use a emulator to see how the app is working in the Android Studio, but you can debug your app inside your phone also. Like inside your phone, if you open settings and then go in about phone, this option comes very like in the last of the setting, and then there you will see a build number written. Now what you have to do is you have to tap build number 7 times, and a toast will be shown that debugging option is available now. So you go back to the setting, you will find a developer option and entry in the menu. So you may do it now and tell if it is showing right. You have to go to setting, and then in the down portion of the setting you will find about phone option. Okay, nice, many of you have done. So now you are like a developer now. Now an Android application has two components. One is the Java file and one is the XML and other resources. Now Java file is like the brain of the app. Most of the operations what we will be done, and the resources, the relation between the resources will be present in the Java file. The Java file will function the app, and XML file is responsible for the view of the app, like how the app will be look, how the user interface will be looking, how is the button, how is the text items will be looking, and other resources file. So these are the two major components of the Android app. There are also things like manifest and other things which you will be learning later, but these Java and XML, these are the two major things. So now let's start with views and layouts in XML. Now we will be learning uh, on the XML. XML stand for extensible markup language. Now, in any app, you might see different types of things there, like the text view, the edit text, and the image view, the buttons. Like different components are there in app. So what? First, we have to identify what are they. Like if any piece of text is written, we call it the text view, and edit text is a blank where you have to type something. Image view, the images present in the app will come under image view. The buttons and the progress bar, whenever there is some loading or there, then the bar appears. The checkbox, that the square box in which you can check, and the radio button. There is a difference between the checkbox and the radio button. If there are two three radio buttons, you might having quizzes, and you may see some questions are having checkbox and some are radio button. The thing is that radio button, like you have four option, only one option will be checked by radio button. And in the check, and if it has the question has a checkbox, then you might have multiple correct answers to that. And you have a switch like this, and the rating bar in the Play Store app, you might get notifications to rate the app. So this is the rating bar in which you can do provide the rating for the app. There is a specific type of button known as floating action button. In email apps, you may see in the Gmail app the plus there to create a new email. So this is a specific type of button, floating action button. These are the views uh, they are present in the app. Now let's move on to this. Now here you have a question here, and you have to tell what are the views that are numbered here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you may comment and answer these. What are the views used in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Yeah, first one is edit text. I may repeat the last slide. Like if there is any text, then we call it a text view, and if there is a blank there, we have to type the text, then it is known as edit text. And images are known as image view. Buttons are buttons. Then the bar which comes while loading, it's the progress bar. Checkbox and radio button I have explained. Like the circle one is radio and square one is check. And there's a switch, and this is the rating bar, a floating action button. So many have you answered. One is edit text, yeah. Second one, text view, yes. Third one, image view. Fourth one is the rating. Five is floating action button. Yeah, like first one is the edit text, and the second one is the text view. The third one is the image view. Fourth one is the rating one, and the fifth one is floating action button. So let's move on. So, what is layout? Layout is basically the way to represent the elements of UI. Now, in an app, the different things like these, the text views and the images are arranged in specific manner. So, how they will be arranged and how they will be viewed, we will define them in using layout. So basically, there are four types of layout. First is the linear layout, then is the constraint layout, and relative layout, and grid layout. So we will be learning each of them one by one, and how what is the purpose of them. We will be learning all of these things. So first comes the linear layout. So whenever the things are linearly arranged, either in horizontal manner or on vertical manner, then we have to apply linear layout. So layout basically is how the items in, like there is a layout and we put items inside it. So how we want our items to be displayed, it will be judged by the layout. The layout will arrange the items how we want them to. So if we put a linear layout there, then the items will be arranged linearly. So here is the vertical, and here is the horizontal. Like horizontally these things are arranged. In the previous screen you may see here, like these things are arranged in the vertical fashion, and horizontally, like the edit text and there is a photo, these are arranged in horizontal fashion. So probably here a linear layout may have been used, and here also a linear layout with this one may I used there. Now comes the constraint layout. So constraint layout, we have to provide the place of the item there, and from uh, from the borders, how much they are separated, we have to give the values of them. Like in linear we don't have to give the values from the borders, how it will, how much separated they are. Just we give the, just we put in the linear layout, and they are arranged by itself. But in constraint layout we have to provide all the distances from the borders and from other elements. Like you may see here a photo is there and an edit text is there. So edit text is placed and a photo is placed, and there is some separation given out here, and there is this separation given out here, and other items also have been given the how much they will be separated from the borders and from the other elements. So this is the constraint layout, and we may position anything here, and it's sometimes difficult to arrange all the things from in the linear layout. Like if we want to apply linear layout here, we might have to uh, give 2 3 linear layouts, but in constraint layout it is helpful, we just have to position all the items there and just give the spacings, the how much they will be separated. We don't have to nest them. Now next comes the relative layout. In relative layout, we place one item, and we specify other items, in relative to them how they will be spaced. If we put a item here, and for this item I say relative to the first item, it is in the bottom right side of it, so it is placed here. So all the items are relative to each other. And next comes the grid layout. So grid layout is all the elements are they're present in some similar fashion. like uh, we have all the images here uh, in a grid like fashion, in rows and columns. Now comes the attributes. In the previous workshop of web development, you might have learned in HTML there are different types of tags, like that only in XML. If we take a button, we have to specify the attributes of the button, the ID, the layout width, height. We have to specify them, that how it will be placed, and how what would be the height. Layout width, it is given match parent here. So match parent would mean uh, in this screen you may see this is the borders of the screen. We call it the parent, and if we set this thing to match parent, then it will take the full width of the screen. And like other attributes like text all caps, it's false. Then all the text will not be in capital letters. We will specify the text size, text style, it's bold. So attributes is basically how that item will look like. In image view, you may see the ID, the width and the height is specified here, and here the layout center horizontal, which means that the image would be in the center, horizontally it will be in the center position of the screen. So these are the works of the attributes. Now next comes the padding and margin. If we uh, place any item over the screen, we have to specify what would be the margin, what would be the spacing from the border. So what margin is that, the thing will be from this much spacing from the left, this much spacing from the right, this much from the top. This margin we give, and it appears like that in the screen. And what padding does is uh, the item will be there, and let's say we take a text view. In this example I may show you. Yeah, yeah, let's say we take this example. uh, Here is the text view, and in the text view you might see the text items are a little spacing from the border of the text view. So this is the padding what we give to the item, and the margin is the spacing of this box from other, like its parent and other elements from right left side. This will be the margin, and the thing, the text which is separated from this blue box, this will be the padding. So this is all about it. So the padding is given in all the four directions. You may give it in the top, in the right, in the bottom, and in the left. Okay, border. Yeah, border is the spacing between the margin and the padding. Yeah, right. So we give these attributes in all the four directions you may give, or you may give only, like in the attribute you may write only padding equals to this much 5 sp, like that distance, and it will be applied in all the four direction. Or you may specify them, like in the top I want this much, in the right side I want this much, in bottom and left I might, like you may give them discrete, or you may give all the thing in total. Yeah, you will be shown examples in the live coding time. Right now I am just explaining the things. Now next is the gravity. Now what gravity defines is it is used to specify how to place the content of the object within the object itself. Like you may see here a text view, and the text written is in the left side of the text view. We may place it in the horizontal, in the right side of that box, or in the center. So in Word file also you may format the word in the horizontal, or you may format it right. It's like gravity is like that only. How you format the text from the borders, from the box of the text view. So in other words, Android gravity is used to specify the gravity of the content of the view, like from in which direction it will appear. And this is the layout gravity, like the whole thing in which side it will appear, like it's in the left. If we get layout gravity left, then it will appear in the right left side, and if we give right, then it will appear, it will come at the right side. This is the center horizontal, and this is the center. So layout gravity sets the gravity of the view or the layout relative to its parent. Like this screen is the parent of, and the gravity sets according to parent where it will appear. And now it's time for live coding. What you have learned till now you will be applying, and I may this session will be taken by Anisha ma'am. And if you have installed Android Studio, you may open it, a new project in Android Studio with empty activity. And there is also a link, the link has been provided, that is Android Visualizer. You may open it if you haven't downloaded the Android Studio till now. Okay, thanks.
So, hello everyone. So, we will be starting with the live coding now. So is my screen visible? I think it's visible. Okay, so let's start. So as you have learned with the different views and layouts till now, you learned about this grid layout, relative layout and all. So let's have some fun by applying them in an app. So let's start with your first app. We will be making this app an egg timer app. Okay? So everyone ready for the live coding? So those of you who have Android Studio, you can start your Android Studio. And for those who have not installed Android Studio yet, you can go to the link provided in the description, in the chat box. Okay, so let's start. So first open Android Studio. So on opening an Android Studio, you will be getting an window like this. It might change depending upon your version, whichever version you are using. So did everyone get this window? So on getting this window, just write +1. If you don't have laptop for now, just watch the session. Okay, so write +1 if you all have got this window, and next you go to new project. So here you can see different pre-built activities. It is already over here. A basic activity, one bottom navigation activity. So many pre-built activities are already over here. You can choose any one of them. For now, we will be basically starting with this empty activity. So all of you open this empty activity now. Click on the empty activity and then click on next. So this is the window you will be getting after you click on empty activity. So guys, follow along the session. So here you have to provide the name of your app. So I showed you the app which we will be making. So let me describe this app exactly what it will be doing. Here you have to enter a time. Here you can see enter time is there, and this is an edit text as it has been told to you. You have to enter the time, and after that time means after pressing this go button, you can see a button over here. This egg will be cracking. Okay, so that is the app. So suggest any cool name for this app. Here you have to write the app name. So give some name. What name should we give to this app? Come on, everyone, suggest a cool name for this app. Egg hatcher. Okay. Egg crack. Egg cracker. Any unique name? Egg buster. Okay, for now, let's see which one I'll take. Okay, I'll take this one. Egg buster. Let's take this name. Okay, great. So next we will be coming to this package name. So what is this package name? So when you create any app, a package is automatically created by Android for that app. And one thing you should remember is that this package name should be one unique one. Okay, one unique package name. It should be unique for each and every app you are making. So if you have any, means you can choose either your own domain, or you can go on with this by default, which it comes com.example. You can go on with this package name. Next is save location. This will be the location where your app folders will be stored. You can change it as per your wish, or like for now I'll be keeping this one itself for me. Then the language you can choose anyone, Java or Kotlin. So the sessions we will be conducting in Java. So for now, let's choose this Java. And now comes this SDK. So this API level, you can see this API level over here. So here if you see, it's written this app will run on approximately 85.6% devices. You can choose any API level over here. One question that might come in your mind is that why not do it for 100% of devices? But I'll suggest you that you should keep it for the optimum, because for 100% many new features you won't be able to implement in your app. So I'll be keeping it as it is, Android 7.1.1. I'll be keeping it this one for now. Okay, so let's move on. So after this, after you have chosen your name, package name, location, SDK, and all, just click on finish, and you will be coming to this window. If you are doing this for the first time, it might take some time for the indexing and all. You all have opened Android Studio for the first time, most probably most of you, so it will be taking some time. For you can see here the Gradle is building. And after Gradle built, so by that time I'll show you. You all have already learned about Gradle just now. Gradle files, as you have seen, it will take all the source files and apply appropriate tools. It will convert the Java files into DEX files. So it is still indexing. Like Gradle, all the features will be downloading and all. So by that time, while it's indexing, I want you guys to just tell the names of all the views which I'll be using in this app, like this enter timer and this one, this egg. So what are the views? Just write in the chat box. What are the views we will be using in our app? Everyone, come on, write in the chat box while our Android Studio gets installed. Edit text, okay. One edit text we can see over here. This go button. Okay, so text views, image view. Okay, great. So let's come to this studio now, Android Studio. So you can see after all the Gradle and all, after indexing, here if you have it in project file, you will be getting many folders, but usually we don't need so many folders. Android has already given you a like Android already tells you which folders you will need. So this is the window. So let's describe this window as of now. This is the part where you will be writing your codes and all. So you can see, as you have seen in the resources, there are two main components. One is the XML and another is the Java. So here you will be writing the Java part, and here you will be going with the coding of XML part. Here is the code. If you split, you can go for both the design and the coding. You will be seeing both of them. Okay, so now let's come over to this part. You can see quite a number of folders over here, the Android manifest, the Gradle scripts and all. So let's start with this Gradle. So what is this Gradle? Gradle is basically an open source build tool which Android Studio uses to generate the APK of your app. The most important thing which you will need while you will be making apps and all is this one. Come over to this build Gradle in the app version, and if you go down, you can see the dependencies over here. This is what you need the most. Now what are these dependencies? You will be using them, like I have ordered. They have already given me a dependency for constraint layout. It has been taught to you just now. One dependency for constraint layout. For material design is also a type of design you will learn later on. So these they have already given. You can even have some dependencies of your own. If I click on Alt plus Enter, you can see add library dependency over here. Okay, so add library dependency. You can even have your own dependencies. So suppose I want a dependency for, let's say, card view. Card view is also a kind of view. You can take it for now. I want a dependency for card view. Okay. So I get this dependency over here. And after whatever dependency you will need it for the implementation. You can like use after I give this dependency over here. After I write this, I can now use the card view in my app. Anywhere I can use it. So after writing the dependency, the next thing you have to do is this sync now. So after it gets synced, you can use the dependencies in your app, whatever dependencies are there. So this is what you will be, the main function which you will be performing basically in your Gradle part. The next part I'll come is this rest folder. See here the dependencies, it has synced successfully. And you can see the message over here. You can use the project structure dialog and means you can use the dependencies. So next comes the rest folder. Inside the rest folder, rest is the resources folder. You can see drawable, layout, map, and values. In values, you can see colors and strings. Colors, you can put your own colors, whatever colors you need. Like some colors are already over here. Suppose I want one more color. I'll just copy and edit this. Suppose I want the color for blue. I don't want to write this code everywhere in my app for the blue color. So I'll define the color over here and just I'll be choosing blue color over here. Okay. So this is how you'll be using the colors one. And strings, whatever, like here for now you have the string of your app name. So next we'll move to this layout, the function of this layouts. So for layouts, here you will be getting all your XML files. As I told you, you'll be writing the code. This one I showed you at the beginning. Here you will be getting all the XML files. Suppose I want some new layout over here. So just right click on that, click on new layout resource file, whatever. I'll just give the name as demo file. And if I click on OK, you will get a new XML file. You can see the .xml, it will come automatically. So for now, I'll be just deleting this as I don't need this for now. Okay, so that is how you create new XML files. Next comes this drawable file. Okay, so if your Gradle project is still syncing, you just listen to these features and all. Since for the first time it takes some, you are using Android Studio for the first time, it will take some time for the Gradle and all to build. So no issue in that. I'll not start it until and unless you all complete it. So the function of this drawable is that, as you all have seen in this app, this one just now you all said it's an image view. But from where we will get these images? Okay. So these images, we will place these images inside the drawable folder. I'll be taking two images. One image will be of this egg and the other image will be of an cracked egg. Okay. Cracked egg means after the timer is over, the egg will be cracking. So that image. So you can take images from anywhere you want. I'll just take images from a folder. So these two images, I will be copying it from here, copy and then paste. Okay, so that is all about Gradle scripts and res. So is it clear? If it is clear, just write +1 in the chat box, else I'll be telling it once more time. Just this res and Gradle scripts. And also, if you all have finished building your if you have finished the Gradle build and all, just write +2. If you have finished with Gradle build, write +2, and if you have understood all this, write +1 in the chat box. Once more. Okay, I'll be telling once more all. +1, +2. Okay, I can see quite a number of +1 and some +2s also. Okay, so till now what I said is that this Gradle scripts, in this build.gradle script, what you will be requiring is this dependencies. These dependencies, these features, whatever dependency you will be applying over here, those features you can use in your app. Like in front of you, I applied this card view dependency, so I can apply this card view anywhere in my app now. So that is the function of this dependencies, which will be inside this Gradle script. Next, I told you about these values, colors, and the strings. Next, I told you about this layout, which will contain all the XML files. Next, I told you about all the XML files. Means XML, you can tell it's the design of your app. Whatever design, like for now, by default, you can see I have a design called Hello World. It's already over here. Okay. Next is this drawable. Here I have taken, as you can see, I have taken 2 images over here. These images I have taken because I'll be using these images in my app inside the image view. So I have taken these 2 images. So one next thing is I'll come is that Android manifest.xml. Now this is important. Android manifest.xml. Now what is the purpose of this one? The manifest file, it contains the information of your package and the components, such as applications, the activities, all like later on you will be using with the broadcast receivers and the content providers and all. So all these things will be displayed over in your Android manifest form, this Android manifest.xml. You can see here launcher activity. So this activity, this one you can see, right? This activity, opening and closing. Inside this, I have a main activity. You can see for now, I have given this main activity. So one question you might ask, what is this activities? Activities are nothing like this screen which I showed you just now. This is one activity. It contains the XML part, that is the design and all, and the Java part which you will be learning in the next session. There you will be learning how, means after the timer closes, how this egg will open, means how the image will change and all. So this is basically the activity. Okay, so all your activities will be shown over here. If I want to create some new activity, you will see it appears over here. I'll just show you now. New, and then I'll come to activity and then empty activity. I'll just give new activity. I'll just give the name as new activity. And if I click on finish, you can see after it gets synced, the activity, it will appear over here. You can see now this code. New activities, it is being shown over here. So whatever activities, whatever you will be using in your app, everything will be shown over here. Okay, and the new activity, new XML file, you can see both are created. One Java file and one XML file of that activity are being created. It has already been created. So one thing which you have noticed is that this launcher, as I said you just now, it is not there in new activity. Meaning that when you open your app, the first screen which will be appearing in your app is this main activity, this screen. The new activity you will be using intents to go to new activities and all. So might be you might have a button in your main activity, and with that button, on clicking that button, you want to go to the new activity. So, and at that time the new activity will be shown in your app. So that is how you will be make when you make bigger projects, you will require quite a lot of activities and quite a lot of screens. So there you have to create new activities like this. You can give whatever name you want, and the launcher activity you can give it to whichever means the screen you want to show at the starting of your app. So this is basically the work of Android Manifest. One more thing. Okay, before that, let's come over to this part. This one, as you can see here, if I click on this file, here the emulator will run. Now, what is this emulator? The emulator is basically the online, like usually you run your apps in your mobile, so you can also run it over here in this screen itself. For that you will require an emulator. For now I have an app which contains only this hello world. I have just a text view which contains this hello world. You can either click on this run, you can see a run app that came popped out, or what you can do is you can connect your mobile phone with your laptop with the USB cable. Like if I connect it, I'll just show you once. The name there will change. You can see I connected my mobile with the cable. So you can see the name changed over here. So now if you click on this run, your app will run in your mobile phone. I'll just show you. I opened my cable now. I'll show you in this emulator over here itself. So those of you who have finished with the Gradle build, just click on run. You can either run in your emulator or you can connect your mobile phone and run it. So click on run. You can see your Gradle build is running. All of you click on run and tell me what is coming in your mobile phone or in your laptop, wherever you are running it. Okay, it is. I'll just run with a different emulator. Do we need to create an emulator? No, you can get one emulator. Also, you can create one emulator of your own if you want. Starting AVT. So, as I clicked on a new emulator, you all can run in your mobile phone or in the emulator. and write in the chat box what you are getting in your screen.
Guys, if you are installing the application on your real mobile device, then you have to activate the USB debugging option that we also guide you in the starting, like that you have to enable the developer mode, and from there you have to start. So if you are means installing the application on real device, you have to first enable the debugging mode, USB debugging mode in your phone. Okay. And if you are getting like issues in that part, so you can continue with the emulator as well. Like when you have installed the Android Studio, then you also get a chance like to install the emulator, and that time you have installed the emulator. And from there you will get an option like whatever be the connected devices, it will be shown to you in the app module. Anisha, can you just point out that one from there where we can select the devices? Yeah. You
Yes, so the devices you can choose over here, AVT manager. Over here, you can choose whatever devices you want. You can click on this create virtual device and you can choose any new emulator, whatever you want. Okay, so for now,
can see that screen. uh, Close it, close that window. Yeah, from here you means for now you don't need to create one. From here you can directly choose, like it will show you whatever be the connected devices currently available in your laptop are. Okay, so if your mobile has been connected properly, then it will be shown here as well. Like in the Anisha 2, it is possible like it is a real device. Okay, so if your phone's real device is also connected, it will be shown here. Okay, and whatever be the emulator is available in your device, so it is also being shown there. So from there you can run the particular app on that device. Now if anyone is facing any issue, just put it down in the comment box.
okay, so this hello world, you will get this while running the app. Because I only have created a text view over here. It was created from beginning itself. So is it clear up till now? Just write +1 in the chat box. If it is clear till now. Okay, so I can see only 2+1s. The rest, if you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box. Coding part, I have not started with the coding part yet. So अगर बाउंसर जा रहे हैं तो हो जाएगा वो भी ठीक. Any more issues? If there is no more issues, I think I can start with this making of this screen in the XML part. Okay, great. So I'll just delete this text view because I don't need a hello world in my app. So first thing which you need is this layout. Which layouts? So I think 4 layouts had been taught to you in this session previously. So can you write the names of those 4 layouts which had been taught to you all? The 4 layouts. It was there in the PPT. So the first thing while creating any XML is you have to choose the layout. Write in the chat box what are the 4 layouts which had been taught. Yes, I can see one answer correct. linear constraint relative grid. Okay, great. Okay, so you can see over here linear constraint, relative, and grid layout. So this linear layout, as it had been told, linear, it can be either horizontal or vertical. For now, for example, let us take a simple text view. Let's keep that hello world, okay? And I'll just change this constraint layout to linear layout. Okay? So linear layout, you can see the hello world moved at the top. Just change the size so that it's visible to you. So this hello world, you can see it over here. Now, if I suppose I want one more hello world text view, I'll just copy this. I'll put it once more. You can see the hello world, it came one after the another. Because linear layout, apart from first thing which you have to choose is this layout width and the layout height. These two attributes are the things you have to choose first. So layout width and height, for now it's match parent. Match parent means it will take the entire screen. Suppose the height, instead of match parent, I do it wrap content. Okay. You can see this blue line. It is not taking the entire screen anymore. The hello world, it is within only this blue lines. Can you follow this blue lines over here? Just see the design part. Yes, I think now it will be clear. This is what you have to do in means how it will be shown for wrap content. So I want the screen to take the entire means all those elements will be there in the entire screen. So I'll change this to match parent. So this width and height, these all you have to write it. Okay. Without that, you will be getting an error because you have to specify how much space the whatever components you are using in your XML, how much space it will be using. So this width and height, you have to use those. Width also, if I do it wrap content, you can see this part, it has been left out. Only this much area it is covered. Just go on with this blue lines. Okay, so I want the entire screen to be covered, so I'll do both match parent. Now you can see, as it has been told you in this PPT, that you will have linear layouts either as horizontal or vertical. Now, where should you mention whether it's horizontal or vertical? You can see by default it has come horizontal. So one more attribute which you will be using in linear layout is orientation. You can see Android orientation. And I'll just make it vertical. See this linear layouts, it has been stacked one after the another in a vertical fashion. Okay. So that is now there are thousands of like attributes like this orientation. If you noticed, I used one text size within this text view. So you don't have to remember all of them. Like if you notice this, I didn't type the entire thing. I just typed O and this orientation, you will get this option automatically. So that's the fun of this Android Studio. You don't have to remember everything. You will get options automatically as you keep on typing. So I think it's clear this linear layout, the difference between vertical and the horizontal layouts. If I do this horizontal, you can find it will again go back to horizontal. See, these get stacked one after this another, the two hello worlds. So linear layout, I think it's clear, everyone. If it is clear, we can move on to the next layer, that is the relative layout. Quite easy, okay. This relative layout is also quite easy. Like linear layout, all the views will be relative to the parent. Like I'll be showing you over here. I'll change this linear layout to relative layout, and you can see only one hello world. Now you might ask that I have got two hello worlds over here. So why only one hello world is being shown? The reason is that one hello world has been placed on top of the other hello world. So this orientation, I don't need orientation in relative layout. I'll put an ID to this text view. ID is like you need IDs for whatever views you are using, because these IDs will be used later on to in your Java file to access these text view, image view, whatever views you will be using. To access those, you will need this IDs. So now I gave an ID to the first text view, that is text view. You can give any ID as per, you can give an ID ABC or whatever, just a name, a proper name, whatever that is referring to. Or I'll give the ID as world. Since it's showing hello world, I'll just give it as world. So now the problem is this one is stacked over the other. So here you will just do align or bottom below, layout below, just to do layout below, and you will see this IDs over here. ID world, I'll choose this. Now you can see this hello world is one below this other. All I did is I created an ID only for this text view. I didn't create any ID for this one, if you notice that. I created an ID for this text view, and this text view I made it that this one will come below this world text view. The name of this text view is world. You can say this ID will provide an unique name to the text view. You can think it in that way also if you want. So that is how I used this one. Another some more attributes I can show, like this text view. Suppose I wanted to be in the center of the this whole parent, so I can write center in parent, and I'll make it true. So you can see this hello world came in the center of the entire page. Now this hello world also came because this one I have already made it layout. I have already given layout below this world text view. Some more like you can use, I'll just delete this one off for now. Let's work only with this one. Let's delete this entire text view as of now. This hello world, suppose I want it in the top itself, but in the middle. I don't want it in the middle of this parent. I just want it to be in the middle in the horizontal screen. So all which I'll be doing is that center in horizontal. Center horizontal true. Because it came to the horizontal in the middle. Likewise, I want it to be at the bottom. So I can do align parent bottom. This came. So so there are thoughts like this. So as of your next, we'll move on to this constraint layout. If if it is lagging, I think by now it should be okay. Is it okay now? The fires and all?
Yeah, Isha.
Okay,
Anisha.
then I will continue. Okay, constraint layout. Let's move on to this constraint layout now. So if you all notice that apart from I told you width and height, these two I had already told you while I was telling about this layouts and all. By default, if you notice, these four lines were there from the beginning. I didn't remove those. Though if I just remove them, there's no change, you can see, because I'm using a relative layout. Those lines were for the constraint. Sorry. Okay. Those lines were for this constraint layout. I'll just change it to constraint layout. Now, constraint layout, I should say this is the best of the layouts. Now, why I'm telling it as the best is because you can means make you can say wonderful XMLs. Not that you can't make it with relative and linear, but you can whatever type, like you can put if you want one image over this hello world and all, just over like between this hello and world you want to show one image, you can do all those with this constraint very easily. And one more advantage is that for constraint layout, suppose I want one text view over here, I can just drag and drop the text view like this from this. You can see a palette is shown over here. You can just, if you want a button for example, you can just drag and means drag and drop everything. You don't have to write a code for everything. This one you might say how for changing the size and all you might need code. I'll say no, because just type your size. You can see the text size, you can increase it to 34 sp if you want. See the text size increased. Suppose you want to change the color of this text, so just type your color, and suppose I want red or blue, whatever color you want, you can give a color to your text view like this. Okay, this button also, suppose I don't want the text as button, I want some other text. I want the text to be show. I click on show and you can see the text changed to show. So this constraint layout is that you don't just need to code everything, you can just drag and drop everything. I want a switch. I think a switch was also taught to you all. Switch and all, wherever you want to place it, you can place it. The text view, suppose I want this text view to be in the middle. Now how will I know if it is in the middle? So you can do this, you just constrain it to the left of the parent. This also you constrain like this to the right, you can see it came in the middle. Suppose I don't want it in the middle, I want it somewhere towards the left. So this 50, I think you can see over here, this one you can move it, so you can see my view is moving towards the left. So like this you can do it. Okay, so that is the fun of this constraint layout. So let's start by making this app, and let's make it in constraint layout only. Okay, so I think by now all of your Gradle builds and all, I think by now you all are ready to make your apps. Are you all ready? Everyone? Yes, constraint layout is more efficient for complex layouts, right? Ready everyone? So let's start with this app. So first thing I will need is enter time. So tell first which view I'll be using for this enter time in seconds. To write this, which view should I be using now? I think by now all of you should answer this. This enter time in seconds, which view should I be using? Text view, okay, right. So for writing text view, text view. You can say it comes automatically. Text view. Now this width and height, if you say, it will come automatically. Now those of you who are doing in that online emulator, I think these all won't come, so you all have to type it out as of now. And those of you who are doing an Android Studio, just write text view and you will get this width and height. So width and height, this one you have to mention for almost all the views. Okay. Text view. Now, what should I be giving the width? Just see this and tell, should I give the width as match parent or wrap content? And one more thing, it is not necessary that only match parent or wrap content. You can even give some number of your own, like I give a 56 dp, or some, let's take some large number, 140 dp. You can see the width is changing accordingly. Okay. So for now, just tell what should I be using, a wrap content or a match parent for the width and the height. If I use a match parent for this one, for this text view, then it will cover this entire area. Okay. So those of you who are telling match parent, it will be taking this entire area, and the problem with that will be I need an edit text also here. So if I just means if the text view covers the entire area, I won't have any place for this edit text. So I won't be using match parent, I'll be using wrap content, right? Those of you who are writing wrap content, excellent. Next we'll be moving to this height. Now height, now you'll say with what I should be using, match parent or wrap content. This is also the same logic. If I use match parent, it will cover the entire screen, but I need space for this number, this image, and this button. I need space for all of these. Okay. So this also, for now, I'll be using wrap content. Wrap content. Wrap content is more appropriate. It depends on what type of layout you are using. It's not always appropriate. For this view, for this text view, I'm using the wrap content. Okay, next attribute which I'll be using is text. Text, it will show what text you want to type. Just Android text. Here I want to type this text out. Enter time in seconds. So just write it over here. Enter time seconds. This is the text which I'll be using. One thing, just remember, I'm making this app, so let's create this. Enter time in seconds. So next thing which I'll be using is you can see this enter time. I think it is hardly visible to any of you all. So we'll be just increasing the size of this one. So to increase the size, all you need is simple text size. Nothing else. It's just simple English. You don't even have to remember them. Just write text and you will get text size, text color, text style, text appearance, direction, all caps. You will get all your options automatically. Text size, I'll just put the size to 32 SP. SP is just an unit, like you all use kgs, meters and all. It's also like an unit like that. Text size. Now next thing is that text size. Okay. Next thing is, if you compare these two, see the colors. This is a grayish color over here, whereas this one, it's black color. So I want a black color over here. So next one is text color and color black. Now one more thing, this black color, it comes automatically because in colors, if you see, I have put this line over here. If I just remove this line, or I'll just comment out this line for now. Okay, come back to your XML. You can see this one is in red color because my means this software doesn't know what is this color black. I have not mentioned it to the software. Okay, what this color black will actually do. So for that I have to, now if I again take back this line, the color black again comes. If you don't want, if you don't want it to use it in color, you can just click on this color and click on any color as per your wish, and the color code will appear here. Now it won't give you a color black like this. You can see a code appears over here of whatever color you want. Okay, so I think text color is clear. Let's go with black only for now. And curate color black. Let's go with this for now. Next thing, now just compare these two, and I think the next issue is that the alignment of this. You can see there's a margin over here, if you can identify. Okay, there's a margin over here and a margin in the top also. So someone is writing black and bold. Okay, you can do it bold also if you want. Text style bold, simply this. And you can see it becomes bold as of now. So let's come back to this margin. You can see this enter time. It is looking quite odd. It's totally towards the margin, means there's no space over here. So for that I'll be using margin to this one. Now either you can use a margin, like if I write just margin 15 dp, dp is also again an unit, but for now I'll just constrain it first because I'm using a constraint layout. So I'll just constrain it. Okay, let's use the margin now. Margin 15 dp. So what's the change you can see? You can see this enter time, it came a little towards the right side and little towards the bottom because a margin has been applied on all the sides. Now suppose you don't want a margin on all the sides, you want only a little margin over to this left side, so you can just change it to margin left. Now you can notice that there's a margin only to the left side, there's no margin at the top. Else if you want a margin only at the top, just write margin top. You can see a margin of 15 dp at the top. There's no margin at this side. Okay, that is how the use of this attribute margin. For now I'll just put a margin because I want a margin on all the sides. Okay, I think the margin is clear. I'll just increase the margin a bit, 20 dp, or I can do just put a margin on top 20 dp and the margin towards the left side. Margin left 20 dp. Yes, XML codes are case sensitive. So I think this text view is clear to all of you. If you see, we have one more text view over here. This zero, this time. This timing is also a text view. One more thing which we have to do is add an ID to this because you will be using this text view in your Java. So ID for now, you have to write this @I plus ID. This one you have to write and then put any ID. I'll just use the ID text view. Okay, so next, this one. I'll be making this text. After that, I'll come to this edit text. But first, let's make this text view, but in another fashion. Let's make it. Okay, not by writing all these codes and all. Just now I wrote all these codes. This bold, I'll just put it out. I think this is better now. Yes. Since you're using constraint layout, I said you can just drag and drop in constraint layout. So the next text view will just do it in drag and drop fashion. I just drag and drop this text view over here. I will align I'll constrain these over to the parents. This one I'll constrain it towards this. I don't want it to be over this, like I want some margin over here, so I'll just drag and drop it out a little bit. Next thing I want this text to change, so text view. So the text, whatever it is there, I'll just write that. Next, as you can see, the size is very small, so next I'll be increasing the size. Just type text. Sorry, text size. Or you can just simply get it from here also, whatever it is. Or you can simply write it in the code itself. Text size 32, or I'll just make it 28 pp. Let's put it 30 sp. Okay, next I'll go on with the colors. Design. Color, text color. I want this color to be black in color. So you can see it turned black in color. So you can see the width and height. I think it's not there. Okay. Both of them are wrap content. If you want, you can make this width to be match parent. Because as usual, I don't have any more views here in this entire width. So I can make it match parent if I want, or I can keep it as wrap content also. So here it won't matter much. So if I'm doing this match parent, one more thing you can see is that this one is coming towards the left. So for that, I think you all have been taught about this gravity. This one, this gravity. You can see there are two attributes over here. One is only gravity, other is the layout gravity. Layout gravity means the entire layout will move to the left. Like if I show you with wrap content, okay. Let's do it with match parent. I'll be showing you gravity center. You can see this came in the center. I'm showing this only gravity, not the layout gravity. Okay, so it came to the center. If I want this to be in the right side, you can just write Android gravity right. You can see it moved towards the right side. So if you are using match parent, you can do it to be in the center. Else in constraint layout, you can just put it to be wrap content and put it in the center. Just constrain the end towards the parent and the start to parent. It will come automatically in the center. Okay, so you can see I made two text views and both of them I have done in different fashion. This one I wrote in the entire code. For this I didn't write any code. I just did a drag and drop of the components. So next I think we should go with this edit text. This much, is it clear? If it is clear, I can go with this edit text. Okay, so let's go with the edit text. Edit text, see whatever view I'm writing, first of all, it's asking me to mention the width and the height. So you can see width and height, that's important for each and every layout. So this one, I'll give the width to be wrap content and height also wrap content. You can see a very small edit text over here. But I want this edit text to be beside this enter time. So I can either drag it like this, or using the code I can do it. Okay, so edit text. I'll put similar margin first of all. I have put a margin here, top margin and left margin. The only difference here is I'll put the right margin over here. Okay. Just put this margin right, 20 dp, or let's take a smaller number, 8 dp. You won't find any change as of now, because let's take the other values first. First of all, let us constrain this start. I'll be constraining it to this enter time, this text view. The end I'll constrain it towards here, this top I'll constrain it here, and the bottom you can constrain it anywhere. I can constrain it over this text view if I want. Okay, so edit text. Now I can wait, I'll just remove this bottom constraint. Okay, now I've put a margin over here. If you can see, a margin top of 16 dp. I'll just change it to 20 dp. Okay, now I think both of them are in line. Also, let this be wrap content only. Okay, next, one more thing that is important in this one is a hint. Okay, now what is this hint? This is a new attribute to you, and this attribute is used only for this edit text. Hint is that sometimes while using an app, you might require, like, there's a space to write something for the user, and when you click on that space, uh, means the on-screen keyboard, it comes automatically. But you want to show the user, like here I want the user to know that the user has to enter time only in this space. The user shouldn't enter his or her name or any other details. So if I use hint, you can see this time it comes over here. Okay, one more thing I can use, I'll just comment this out. I'll just comment out this line, and one more thing which I can use is text. Let's do it over here. Text. Here text also I can write time. You can say it's totally the same in the two, but what's the difference? The difference is that if I write this time over here using this text, then the user has to delete this every time and then write the time over there. But if I use this hint over here instead of this time, and then the user doesn't have to do that. The user can just simply write the time. Means once the user starts writing the time, this text, it will automatically, it means this hint, whatever hint you are giving, it will automatically vanish and the time will appear over there, whatever time the user is writing. So that is the use of this hint. Okay, so next I'll be going with the text color. Text color, you won't be able to see now any change. You didn't see any change because this will be used when the user will be typing out the text, whatever text it is. The color of the text will be black. If you choose any other color like blue and all, then whatever text the user will be typing, it will come out to be blue. Now I'll keep it as black. One more thing you can do, like here you are writing the time. So time is basically a numerical value, okay? You don't want any alphabetical, you don't want the user to type any alphabetical value over here. So you can mention an input type and number. So here, if the user wants to type any alphabetical value, it won't be accepted over here. Only this input type, only numbers will be accepted over here. Even the keyboard also, in the keyboard too, only numbers will be shown. No alphabetical values will be shown in the keyboard. Okay, so next we'll be coming to the image view. You can see one image is over here. This image will be creating. Now how to create an image view? First of all, like the others, I'll just make image view. Again, it is asking for width and height. I'll do wrap content to both. Let's first take the image. Now how to take the image? If you remember, I had put one egg image over here and a cracked egg image over here in this tribal. I'll be using this egg image for now. This egg image is within this tribal folder, which is inside this res folder. So to use the image, the attribute which you'll be using is src, Android src. After that, since it's within the drawable folder, I'll use this @drawable, then a slash, and this image of egg. You can see the image of egg appeared over here. I'll constrain this right side and left side. The bottom I'll constrain to the bottom of the parent. Top I can constrain to the top. Okay. So this is the image view. I can provide an ID to the image because I want this image to change after the timing is over. So ID image view. You can give any ID of your own. It's showing an error because I didn't write @ID. Image view. Next thing we will be doing is this button, the go button. So let's create a button over here. Let's do it in drag and drop mode now. I'll just put a button over here. Next, I'll constrain it in both the sides. This side, I'll constrain it to the bottom of the parent. And I'll just put a margin over here, margin of, you can see, 100 dp margin. I want to change the text to go, as you can see over here. Split text. This text I'll be changing it to go. The text changed to go. Automatically over. Is it visible now? If it is visible, just write something in the chat box, visible and all. And if it is audible, write audible also.
Anisha, you need to share your screen. It's not visible right now.
Okay, I think now it's visible.
Yeah.
So last, I think this button, I'll show you once more how to add this button. So let's start with this button once more. So this button, I'll just drag and drop over here. And then I'll be changing the text of the button to go. You can see here, the text over here, it is go. I'll just write it in the code only. This button text, I'll change it to go. And I'll constrain it to the sides, to the parent. I'll constrain it over to the parent. Okay, so is it clear till now, everyone? So if it is clear, you all can run your app. Just run your app and you will get the screen. Here, this edit text, you can see a number, keys over here. You can write any number here, 5. You can see the color. I told you the color will be black. This button, you can click. Nothing will happen now because I have not written any Java code, which will be shown you in your next session. So you can see this button is being clicked, one image view, this 5, you can write any other number, 45. Basically if you are not able to connect your phone, just check the USB once. On connecting, you will get the option over here as I showed you. Means the name of whatever device you are using. If I connect it, the name of my phone will show here. So if I done this now, it will be. Is constraining necessary? Constraint that is used only for constraint view. You can even use linear layout or relative layout, whatever layout you want. Okay, so that's all. So the recruitment process for becoming a member of Cyber Labs, I'll just discuss the recruitment process once before ending. So we will be having a WOC, which is known as Winter of Coding. And in that, you will be given a list of projects. So you have to choose any one project, whichever project you want to work upon, you will be choosing that project. And you have to submit a proposal for that project, whichever project you are choosing, and based on your proposals, one proposal will be your proposals will be selected, and after that you will start working on the projects under the guidance of your mentors. So the coding phase will be around 1 to 1.5 months. So after the coding phase, you will be selected based on how you have done your projects and all. More than one project? No, you have to choose only one project only. So based on how you have done your project, you will be selected for interviews. You will be having 2 rounds of interview. One will be the technical round and the other HR round. And based on your performance in the interviews, you'll be chosen in the club. So what is proposal? In that proposal, you have to basically write the tech stack which you'll be using to make the projects and all, and the timeline. What timeline you will follow, all those you will be writing in a proposal. Everything is appearing on top of other because you have not constrained them. Whoever is asking this question, you have not constrained them, so that's why it's appearing on top of one over the other. Any more questions? Java will be taught in your next session. No, this app is not completed. The Java part is remaining. It will be completed in the next session, the Java part. In that, you will be taught about, after writing this timing on pressing the go button, means after the timer gets over, this image will change. How to do all those will be taught. Okay, I think we can end now.
Timing and all the details will be shared in the Telegram group. We have already shared the posters for related like that, and the next workshop will be mostly be at 2nd of Feb, I guess, and we will provide you details of that in advance before one day on the group. And it is not the paid course, it is just an introductory session for you, so that you can have an idea what the Android development is, and you can choose like whether you want to continue in the Android and not. Okay. And the other workshops are also for that, like in the CyberLabs we are having the various divisions, the Android development, web development, machine learning, hardware, and infosec. And so you must explore all of them. Like I must suggest like you attend all the workshops of all the sessions, and from all of these workshops you try to find out your interest, like which you like the most, the Android, web, ML, and anyone, and just to follow that particular thing. Okay. And this is the XML part of the workshop. Means in this we have covered the XML, and in the next one we will be covering the Java, the remaining part of this application. We are not providing the whole Android development course or something. It is for the IIT ISM students, the IIT ISM first year students. So they were added in that group and what that class. But the videos and these tutorials will be still available on the YouTube, and you can refer them at the rate Hajeeb. Any other questions you can ask in the chat box related to the stream, related to any stuff that we have used and anything. Link of Telegram group link will be provided to your means classrooms, and you can contact your CR of the particular class, and that they will provide you the link of that. We have shared that link with the ISM students. Yeah, IIT ISM Dhanbad, name of the school. The further sessions you can means approach from the channel as well. Like all of these will be posted on the Cyber Labs official channel, and you can subscribe that channel. And the other workshops, like the upcoming workshops, are on the second workshop on the web division, and the two workshops are still left for the machine learning, and infosec workshop is also left, and I guess hardware workshop is also left. So all of these workshops be uh, will be telecasting from this channel, so you can follow this channel for that. Okay, to be means updated for all of these, you can subscribe the channel and you will get a notification whenever we post a new update. And most probably they will be in continuation, like the next day also you will have a workshop on some of the any of these division like Android web, and the next day also you have one. The phone's background is changing because of the UI theme. Like in the whatever be the application we are designing, we design it in a means we can we can define the theme of that particular application, like a dark theme or night theme. These are the themes. So when you change the theme of that particular application, the background themes will be changed. And in the themes we can define all the stuffs, like the whatever the text color, whatever be the font size, and whatever be the things you want in that particular theme. We define the whole theme one that is dark, and we define whole theme one that is a light, and we will use them in our application whenever we are required. Can you send the meeting link? There will not be any meeting link, and all the means the workshops and telecast will be there in the YouTube channel on that particular page, Cyber Labs. I guess no more questions are there, and if anyone want to ask, you can. No, we don't offer placements. We are preparing you for that. You can use the knowledge that you gain from there. I hope you enjoyed the session, guys. Now we are ending the stream. Thank you for joining. We will meet again in the second workshop of Android development. Thank you.